Tom Hauser here with another midweek blessing. Hey, I just want to read a couple of verses to you from John chapter 15, verses 9 and 10. It says, I have loved you even as the Father has loved me. Remain in my love. When you obey my commandments, you remain in my love, just as I obey my Father's commandments and remain in his love. I think sometimes passages like this, we can read them as though when we obey God, he loves us, and when we don't obey God, he doesn't love us. The best way to get God to love us more is to obey him more. And that's not what Jesus is saying here. That's not what Scripture says. Jesus repeats this very similar wording to this several times in John chapters 14, 15, and 16. What I think he is saying, actually, is that God's love is constant. God's love isn't turning on or turning off or getting brighter or dimmer, or there's not more of it or less of it. God's love is constant and inexhaustible and always available for us. What's different is our willingness to live in his love, to abide in his love, to live a life that's in his love. We can choose to live in that or choose not to live in that. And the way that we live in it, the way we discover it and benefit from it and find the life that's to be lived in his love is to do what he tells us to do. It's a little bit like this hallway. So in his hallway, the lights are turned on. There's plenty of light in here. But outside, you can probably see behind me, outside it's still dark out. If I leave this hallway and go outside, I'm not going to be able to see very well because it's dark out there. But the light's still on in here. All I have to do is come back in the front door and I will be in the light again. It's not the light that changed, it's me that changed. It's not the light's location that's changed, it's my location that's changed. All I have to do is turn around, come back in, and there it is. There's the light for me. And I think that's a little bit like the love of God. His love does not waver. It does not come and go. It doesn't dim or get brighter. His love is constant and remains. But if we want to live in it, if we want to benefit from it, if we want to experience the life that he offers us in his love, we need to do what he tells us to do. There's things in Scripture, just very obvious things that he's told us. You need to stop doing these things, and you need to start doing these other things. And when you obey me in that, not only are you revealing your love for me, you're going to find life that is truly life. The John 10:10 life, the rich and satisfying life. A life lived in the love of God is the most beautiful life that we could live. And it's available to each and every Christian. But only when we choose to obey him. If we choose to disobey him, it's like walking outside and living in the darkness again. And Jesus said, and Paul said, and Peter said, why would you live in darkness when you can live in light? I hope this is helpful to you this week. I hope you'll consider today or tomorrow or the next day when a command of Christ it comes to mind and you're reminded of something Jesus said to do, to forgive that person, to act kindly towards that other person, to tell someone about the love of Christ. When those commands come into your mind, I hope that you and that I will decide to obey them and find as a result of that obedience, not only did something good happen in God's kingdom, but something good happened in us, that we now live in the light. We now live in God's love. We're abiding in his love. I hope that we would take the chance to experience that this week. Till next time, peace, friends.